My heart is pounding. Whew. Hello, graduates. Congratulations. We made it! It's a huge honor to stand before you today as your colleague and your comrade on this day of our commencement. Even though this graduation marks the end of our particular academic degrees, the word commencement means beginning. We have come full circle. This is the end for some of us of many years of hard work and research, and, well, for some of us, it's also the beginning of many hard years of research. Today commences a new step in a meaningful and powerful career and life path in education. Whether as teachers, researchers, professors, administrators, policymakers, curriculum developers, historians of education, from early childhood ed to higher education leadership, we have chosen education, a field that has the capacity to transform and liberate our society. I grew up on this campus. I remember chasing my sibling right here in Cherry Blossom Lane and feeding the ducks in Drumheller Fountain. I know we're not supposed to do that anymore. 50 years ago, my parents were new immigrants here in Seattle. My mom was a refugee from Egypt, and my dad came from the Philippines. After years of domestic work and cannery labor, my father got hired as a police officer on this campus, where he served 30 years and dedicated his career to serving students, staff, and faculty. His brother, my uncle, also worked here for many years as a custodian. This is a place that my family has given blood, sweat, and tears in service. It is profound to stand here today in the very place my family worked and receive my master's of education, and to also watch my own child grow up playing on this campus. I have come full circle. As a woman of color, a first-generation student, a mother, it took a village for me to get this degree. I owe so much gratitude to my parents, Mel and Jose Perez, my amazing partner, Brian Creeley, and to my son, Carlos, who's been very patient while his mama studies. I could not have done this without the guidance of my advisor, Dr. Joy Williamson-Lott, as well as the amazing support of the College of Education. Graduates, I want you to think of the sacrifices, the hard work, and most of all, the love that your people have given you in order to be here today. In unison, on the count of 3, let's say thank you together. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I want to especially recognize those of us that are here despite long odds. There are many people who have been historically marginalized from the ivory tower. Let's recognize the extra work it's taken for some of us to be here. To those of you who are students of color, please raise your hand and let's applaud. Please raise your hand if you are a first-generation student. Please raise your hand if you are a student parent. Thank you. I honor you and I celebrate you. This year I wrote a master's thesis about the history of Filipino student activism here at the UW. I investigated how education was used as a US colonial tool to conquer Filipinos in the early 1900s. Despite the indoctrination of colonial education to pacify Filipino rebellion, a group of UW students used this campus as a site of protest in the late 1960s. They organized and made demands of the University of Washington administration to recruit and support increased admission of Filipino and other marginalized Asian students. To these courageous activists, I am grateful. I have come full circle. Education can be used as a tool of oppression and conquest, and it can also be used for a force of liberation. Our common read in the College of Ed this year was a book called The New Jim Crow, Michelle Alexander's book about the mass incarceration of African American men. I recommend that you go buy it. It's probably in the bookstore. Many of us are engaging as a community in a dialogue around the egregious police violence and killing of Black people that we have all witnessed in the media this year. Earlier this year, hundreds of students marched across UW campus and in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and demanded changes from various departments in support of recruitment, retention, and scholarship of Black students. Demands that were made during the civil rights movement are again some of the same demands we are marching for today. We have come full circle. We are facing not only issues of recruitment and retention, but the importance of critically examining state-sanctioned police violence and how mass incarceration affects our nation's democracy and excludes Black community from access to education, employment, healthcare, and the basic right to vote and engage in our society. The problem with police violence is both individual and systemic. As educators, it is critical we examine these issues and our role in making racial justice central to the work we are doing. Graduates, I ask you to make a choice today. Education can be used to silence and exclude people, and it can be used to liberate and challenge oppression. As Morpheus would say, will you take the red pill or the blue pill? Schools and campuses are not benign places of learning. They are also places to make demands and reclaim our rights. It is our responsibility as educators to practice critical engagement, to connect theory to practice, and to use education as a tool and opportunity to create a more equitable world. We are the leaders and the gatekeepers who can shape this world. Let's use these degrees and our power as educators to be the change we wish to see. This is the end and also the beginning. We have come full circle. Thank you.